To build the skills and knowledge of staff working with fragile and conflict-affected countries, EuropeAid organised a course on EU External Action, Fragility, Security and Development in a Changing World. Taking place in Brussels, it gathered 54 participants from EU institutions, as well as staff from NATO, EU agencies and member states. The aim was to increase understanding between security, development and humanitarian actors from these organisations, and to unite them to work in a joined-up and strategic manner in the spirit of the comprehensive approach.
I was one of the co-organisers of this seminar, along with the European Security and Defence College and DevCo, and the idea behind the training was to come up with an interactive experience for the participants. So we mixed a series of lectures with interactive events for them, including exercises. So the idea was that we should bridge theory and practice by enabling them to actually carry out exercises during the course of the seminar to see how things work, or as the case may be, how things could work better.
For example, for me it was interesting to speak with DFID colleagues because I wasn't aware that they were going to be here, and apparently there is a section in DFID who deals with emergency response, which is exactly what we are doing in our section of DG ECHO, and actually I learned something new, and probably I also learned about new potential partners in response to disasters.
Well, for me it's always fantastic to see, and this is a specific feature of almost all ESDC courses, to bring together civilians and military. So civilians, I mean diplomats, police, people working in the field of rule of law, civil administration, civil protection, and the military. That changed people's mind.
Well, the main takeaway that I myself had as a course trainer was to essentially see that all the participants were extremely open-minded to discuss the sensitive and difficult issues in their little cluster groups in which these discussions came up.
And the way it was organised meant that you were actually interacting with each of these different groups at each table, which was fantastic in terms of learning about each other's perspectives, but also about how you might try and put together a comprehensive approach in many ways.
This training is different because it puts together people who come from very different backgrounds, but who today or tomorrow, sooner or later, will be brought to work together in some very challenging places in preventing, responding or recovering from crises and conflicts.
Beyond networking, participants developed an accurate understanding of the institutional setup of the EU, its instruments and operating procedures. They obtained a comprehensive overview of the EU's strategies and policies on security, fragility and development. Examples were provided through case studies, thus enhancing their hands-on learning, building up their critical and holistic thinking, and promoting a cooperative problem-solving and teamwork spirit.
As we think to the future, perhaps it would be worthwhile expanding the concept of the training to, for example, include colleagues from DG Trade, because scenarios of fragility, security and development also have very important implications for trade. And that's maybe something to think about in the future.
The other thing that I would add, and that is in the communication, but we really need to pay close attention to, is the need to coordinate with other actors on the ground, and whether that's the partner governments, the civil society, or other important actors like the UN, the World Bank, etc. We need to realise that we're part of that bigger picture.
What I see is that DevCo already has a site where people can keep in contact and so on. So I guess that the infrastructure is there. It's just a question of people being motivated and be part of it. I don't think there's a need to launch a new platform, but rather launch a promotion of the platform and people to get used to use it and see it as useful, not as time consuming, but something that can be of benefit for them.
CapacityForDev.eu is the European Commission's primary online knowledge sharing platform on development, external cooperation and policy. The learning materials resulting from this training can be found on Capacity for Dev in the Fragility and Crisis Situations group. You can also find more information on Learn for Dev.
I really recommend this training to future participants, so if you want to participate and sign up, because it's a very good experience.